3 years ago, I watched my mom finish the LA Marathon for the second time at the age of 57. Thinking to myself, my mom's such a badass. But little did I know that I would be 9 hours away when she got sick out of nowhere on February 4th this year. So my pops took her to the hospital where they said that she just had a common cold and sent her home. She didn't. The next day, she began to have an altered mental state. So my dad rushed her back to the hospital where we found out a couple days later that she had meningitis. Do you guys know what meningitis is?
No.
Well, I didn't either. So I did some research and I asked the nurses questions. And I found out some interesting things that I will share with you today. By the end of my speech, your understanding of meningitis will be broadened. I will start with what meningitis is, how it spreads, and prevention. And I will share with you my mom's personal battle with meningitis. I'm not trying to scare y'all, just inform you. We all wish we were. So, my first point, what is meningitis? I learned from nurses at the UCLA Neurology Medical Center that meningitis is a rare disease that inflames delicate membranes called meningenes. And these meningenes are covering your brain and your spine. And with inflammation can destroy nerve cells, cause bleeding in the brain, seizures, strokes, and memory loss. Most often, your body can fight off the disease, or it's not invasive to you. But if it gets into your bloodstream, it goes straight for your brain and your spine. You guys with me?
Yes.
I also, no. Now I have informed you what meningitis is, and I just informed you on what meningitis is, and now I'll inform you on how it spreads, symptoms, and prevention. Meningitis spreads like the common cold, through saliva and mucus transferred from a carrier. But it's not as easily spread as the common cold. On July 25th, 2014, the Center for Disease Control states that anyone at any time can get meningitis, but there are certain age groups that are at higher risk. Infants from 0 to 3, tweens from 16 to 23, and elderly from 65 plus. The early symptoms are nausea, vomiting, stiffness of neck, and sensitivity to light. The quicker the treatment begins, the better. Once doctors think that you have meningitis, they begin to pump you with antibiotics. And these antibiotics aren't harmful to you, so they aren't harmful to you if you don't have meningitis. So they begin this treatment quickly. Kind of scary, right? Well, that's what I thought, until I saw in 2014 the Meningitis Association claimed that this is the lowest amount of new cases in history. Basically, mostly due to the vaccines we now have. They don't have a vaccine for every strand, but for the most common strands, they're covered. I have informed you that meningitis spreads through mucus and saliva, symptoms such as headaches and nausea, and prevention. Now I will share with you my mom's own battle with meningitis. My mom was one of the healthiest people I knew. She ran regularly, ate really healthy, almost never got sick, and she was an elementary school teacher for 36 years. So it was a shock to all of us when we found out that she was being taken to the hospital. After that second arrival at the hospital, she was sedated and went into a coma for 2 months. During that time, she had a tracheotomy put in and several spinal taps were performed. The CDC states that the spinal tap is the most common way to diagnose meningitis. Along with that, she had 2 brain biopsies, survived 9 strokes, liver failure, kidney failure, and heart failure. But like I said earlier, My mom's a badass. So when she woke up in 2 months, she went right into recovery mode. She had physical and mental therapy every day until she left the hospital, and then she had it 5 times a week at home, plus her own regimen of exercises she did. She went hard, as people like to say. Personally, I think it was my cooking that made the difference in her recovery. But I guess the therapy helped too. And in as little as 4 months, she began to walk again all over the place. Her ability for remembering and conversational skills have grown every day, and I have no doubt that she will be her amazing self in no time. During this speech, I have informed you on what meningitis is, how it spreads, and is prevented, and my mom's own case with the disease. I hope you never have to think about meningitis again, but now you know more about it and can catch it early. I would like to close with a favor of you all. Can you, at some point, call your moms and tell them you love them? I'm sure that she would love it.